Welcome back to the Bays, my friend. We're washing the 2025 Toyota Corolla GR, getting to know it. We're gonna wash it, and we're gonna talk about everything: the paint, the trim, the materials, the inside. Welcome to Detailed Reviews. This is the 2025 Toyota Corolla GR Premium Plus, which was known as the Circuit Edition in the 23 and 24 models. Why did they change the name? I don't know. My guess would be some stupid marketing team probably thought it was too aggressive and wanted to change the name to appeal to a bigger audience. My opinion, stupid idiots. Now that I'm all fired up, let's dive into this review. The previous Circuit Edition was only available in a 6-speed manual transmission. The new 2025 Premium Plus Edition now gives you options for an 8-speed direct automatic transmission, which is the car that Toyota gave me for this review. And before we get into the aesthetics of the vehicle, I have a lot of things that I want to point out and show you. I just want to touch lightly on my driving experience of the car. I was very excited to be able to drive this car. I love the small hatchbacks. I dailied a Mark 7 GTI for a couple years, and it was the funnest car that I've ever owned. This Corolla GR has been something that was on my list that could be my next love. But boy, was I disappointed from the start when I got in this car. This is not a cheap car. MSRP on this vehicle is $48,650. I can't speak for the manual edition, but this automatic transmission is a slow start. The car feels heavy and the lower end just lacks power. I was expecting a lot more torque, knowing that this car has 300 horsepower. Once the car actually does get going, it does feel fast. Going from 60 to 100 miles per hour is impressive and fast. The handling is pretty sensitive, but after a few days of getting to know the car, I really enjoyed the responsiveness, and the handling and the cornering is absolutely great on this car. The suspension is tuned for the track, so I liked it, but it's rather stiff. So if you're going to daily this car and you have some rough roads to drive on, go buy a back brace right now. Today we're also showcasing Armor Detail Supply. They have a variety of maintenance and protective car wash chemicals for detailing. Pretty impressed with their entire lineup. It's came out a few years ago, and we're going to showcase some of their products while we talk about the Toyota Corolla. Shampoo Plus high foaming shampoo. We're going to put this in our foam cannon, and we're going to foam this car down. All right, we're gonna foam this down. We're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna wash it. I like to wash the car, get to feel it and know the car a little bit. And then we'll talk about the panel gaps, the paint, and then we'll move on to the interior surfaces. There are so many curves to this car. All right, the top is a carbon forged insert on top. It really gives it a kind of that really unique look. One of the first things I would do if I own this car is apply a matte PPF to the carbon forged roof. I'm just not sure how this piece is gonna hold up in 5-10 years with it getting hit by the sun, and I'd rather put a piece of film on it just to protect it and have that peace of mind. I think a lot of people thought that was film for some reason. I had a couple people ask, is that a film? No, it's an actual forged carbon piece that's in there. I think it's a really nice add-on to this car. It looks sweet. It's a contrast piece on there that gives it a different, unique look. I like that a lot. And being that this is a rally car, you know, you wanna set yourself up. Another change for the Premium Plus is the wheels. The Circuit Edition had forged BBS wheels. Now they have changed to a Toyota OEM matte black cast aluminum alloy, which is heavier than the previous BBS wheels. And another move that they did to probably save some money. You know, they went ahead and did the inserts on the hood there. When this car first came out, you know, looking at it, I love the smaller hatchbacks. I had a GTI, really enjoyed that vehicle, and I feel like that one was just kind of a straight vehicle where you look at this one and it's got so many different curves, very complicated back end, and it's got that wide stance to it. I like wide cars, but this one, when I first came out, I didn't like the wide stance. I really didn't. It just looked a little too bubbly for me. I've gotten a little used to it, just having it the last week here. I've liked it a little bit more, But as far as the stance and all of the curves and the bumper and the way that everything works together, it just seems a little blown up for me. Headlights are very smashed into the bumper and everything. The bumper sits very much outside of it. We'll go on the tangent of, it is a bubble car. It looks like a bubble. It looks like somebody, you know, blew into the tailpipes and pushed everything out of this. So if you like that, you're in luck. It has lots of that. And I know that there's body kits for this to make it even more wider, which is kind of crazy. Back spoiler here, all of it is that sensitive black trim that scratches so easily. So this is a plastic painted piece back here. You can see down there, it's got the triple exhaust back there. It's like you can see, it's like a bubble butt. It's like it's wearing its apple bottom jeans. I do like the back end. I mean, it's one of those cars, when you see it pass you, you almost want to drive up to it and be like, what is that? It's a Toyota Corolla GR. That's what it is. Easy to wash though, these small cars. I like that. So it's got another piece here in the fender that it looks like it goes, but there's the wheel liners there, so it's just for looks. It's not like you're actually getting any aerodynamics from this through the wheel well, like to cool the braking system or anything. Like these ones on the side of the bumper go all the way through, and you can kind of see the radiator back there for cooling, so that actually has a purpose. But like this one up here, like that's just for looks. Lots of venting, lots of air inlets here for the engine to cool down, so that's really cool. The bumper does have several inserts, even on the sides it has some inserts there for the cooling part of it. Inside where the Toyota emblem is, even these two sides, you can see right through them. That's all for air cooling. So I think that's really cool. Gloss black side mirrors. They went all out with the gloss black on this car, which looks good. Don't get me wrong, but as a detailer, they just scratch so easy. PPF is the way to go on any of those pieces. Just like the back of the vehicle, pretty complicated front as far as complexity of different pieces here. Giant grille insert here. Appears to be one piece. This is the gloss black material again. Inserts very complicated. That does go in, so that is for aerodynamics. You got a lot of inserts here for cooling, which is really cool. Yeah, even side here, this grille is open here, open here, open here. All for cooling. I'm gonna try to clean all these little inserts. There was a lot of bugs. I wanna get all those bugs out of those inserts. Fun, fun, fun. I normally start with the wheels. In these types of videos, I like to get my hands on the car as quickly as possible, so I start with the wash. But now let's rinse it off and then we'll go to the wheels. I do notice that the windows have like a slight greenish or yellow look to them. You can tell that there is a hue to it, and I can't tell if it's a yellow, if it's a green, if it's a little bit of an orange or brown. It has a different hue to it for sure. And you can see from this perspective with the red, and I don't know if it's the lighting, I don't have yellow lights in here, but there is something reflective on that window that it's making it look a little yellow, a little greenish there. I don't know if you can see that or get that on camera. I wanted to find out why the glass was like this. I didn't know. So I did some research and I did find out that this slight amber or yellow hue is standard and it's not indicative of any special or aftermarket glass. Someone from Toyota did mention that this tint serves as a quick identifier for cars that are manufactured in Japan. I thought that was very interesting. Super, super close in. You can see that they're almost on the inside. They're not to the outside of the car, which if you saw like the actual shape of this car where it was supposed to be, those headlights are in perfect position, but the oversized bumpers and the oversized fenders
the bubbles to it just push everything out. I mean, I like the stance. When you look at the wheels and you look at it in perspective with the car, it does push it together. It's still a little too bubbly for me. It's a little too bubbly. Armor Detail has two different cleaners for the wheels, one for the actual wheel and one for the tire. And I like that there's dedicated chemicals for the two different parts, because the rubber and the wheel are two totally different things. And this is one of the best tire cleaners I've ever used. A little bit goes a long way, and it does a really good job at getting all of the brake dust and blooming off of the wheel to get that looking good. And I only drove this thing like 300 miles, and there was a ton of brake dust built up on these wheels. And look at how many spokes there are. I don't know how many spokes there are, but let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 spoke wheels. So that's a lot of cleaning. So let's spray our chemicals right on there. I'm gonna spray that. Look at that. Right out of the bottle, this tire cleaner is going to give you some foam, which is awesome. And you can see right away how brown it turns, just melting away everything on there. And then this wheel cleaner is a pH balance formula, but it is made for the actual wheel. And again, look at that gel formula right on there. Let that dwell, get it on the entire wheel. This is an iron remover type of wheel cleaner. So you'll see start to turn purple and really start to deteriorate and break away all of the ferrous metal particles within the braking system. Normally I would use my wheel woolly. It does fit in there, but because of this rotor that is pretty damn big, takes up most of that, there's no room to get that behind there. So I'll use the Easy Detail brush. This one is a brush that conforms a lot better. Fits right inside there. Still very tight. You can hear I'm hitting that plate back there. Yeah, there is not much room to clean those barrels. You got the GR calipers in there, painted red. That means sporty. This is the matte black wheel. It would have been much cooler if it was a manual. That's automatic. One thing I did notice with the automatic is during like the takeoff, like 0 to 40, a lot of lag. But like the 60 to 90, whew, it pulls. I think I can fit my wheel woolly on the back ones. Oh yeah. Look at how caked up that brake dust is on those wheels though. God damn. It is so caked up in there. So if you end up getting one of these cars, do yourself a favor and put a ceramic coating on these wheels. Wow, there's a lot of brake dust buildup. Yeah, everything we're using here to wash this Corolla, we'll link it down in the description below if you want to check that out. You can see how flat the water behavior is. Makes it hard to dry. But Armor has easy beads. You literally just spray this on the car and then pressure wash it off, and you have protection and you have a hydrophobic surface to make it really easy for you to go ahead and dry the vehicle. I'll show you how easy it really is. Look at that, you can almost see it instantly. And just pressure wash it off. Use it on wheels. Make it much easier to clean. I'm gonna use Adapt, which is an SiO2 waterless wash. This is great as a lubricant to your towel when you dry the vehicle. It's also gonna add an extra layer of protection on there too. So I just like using this as I'm drying, and if I missed a bug or if I missed a little part on the car that I didn't wash, this will be nice because this will remove it, keeping it safe. So one of the things that I look for in paint is how sensitive it is to environmental damage. And I don't know what this car has been through. This is a press car that gets passed around to a lot of different people. It doesn't see the best of environments, but right away, you know, I know there was bugs in this car, but I'm seeing so much staining on top of the paint. We got a lot of bug remnants that may have sat there for way too long and began eating away at the clear coat. But what this tells me is that it's probably a very soft paint, and anything that actually sits on top of the clear coat is going to have a good chance to etch it or have some kind of damage happen to it. So protecting this paint is probably a big priority if you have this vehicle or thinking about getting it. The top here is a satin forged carbon fiber, and definitely one of those materials that you never want to polish or use abrasives on, because you will make it shiny. I'm gonna finish off the tires with Armor Tire Plus. This is a conditioner and a water-based dressing. They do have another sealant called Ghost. I've done a couple of videos on this. This is a more long-term dressing on the rubber, and this is more of a short-term. I haven't used this one, so I'm gonna use this one. I know this one works awesome, and I just haven't used this one, so we're gonna give this one a shot too. Pull it in the middle here so we can kind of just look at it and just walk around it and kind of do the inspection. All right, starting our inspection on the front, looking at the hood, we got the hood vents that add an awesome sport, sleekish look to this. If fun is on your list for your next car, this definitely checks that box. This is a fun little car. It feels a little bit heavy when you drive it, but it has the power to back it up. And looking at this paint, which is a beautiful red, it does have a lot of staining in it, which does concern me. We're gonna grab the paint gauge and measure this paint. Right off the bat, I like to look at manufacturer defects, and I know that a lot of this staining is superficial and it did not come from the factory, but looking into this paint, it has a lot of orange peel and a lot of texture. And for most, they won't see that, it doesn't bother them, but a detailer like me, when I'm coming up to a vehicle like this, and it looks great from far away, but when you get up to it, the paint is hazy. It has a texture to it. It has very heavy orange peel texture to it. Just my observation with that, but that is kind of bothersome to me. As far as fit and finish, I mean, everything has a place and everything looks like it's there and it has a purpose of it, right? So this is meant to be a fun, sporty, daily driver track car that you can enjoy, and it hits a lot of those check boxes if that's what you're looking for. And I think they did a very, very good job. If you're expecting this to be a race car and to perform perfect, it's not. It's meant to have that price range for you to get into an entry-level vehicle that's fun. Now, there's a lot of mods that you can do to this vehicle if you want to make it your all-out rally race car. But for the purposes of us looking at it as a daily driver, I just want to share my thoughts. All of the gaps look really good so far. Looking at the paint, looking at these wheels, aggressive 15-spoke wheels in there. The fender liner in here, it is a hard plastic, not gonna be carpet or anything like that. It has some side vents in the fenders here, and it has the GR badge. Bonus points if you can tell me what GR stands for. I know what it stands for. I had to look it up, but I know now. Coming into the rocker panel, you do have this rocker panel, and so some of the things that I look for when I'm a detailer is, you know, this rocker panel sticks out, and it's probably one of those spots when you're getting in and out of the car, if you're not careful, you're going to scrape your shoes on the side of it and potentially cause damage. So that'd be one spot right there where I'd cover up with PPF. Also on the rocker, you see the embossed GR4 back there, back to the back door. And we have a lot of these add-ons here. So on the door and on the rear quarter panel, this wide body kit, this is an actual extra piece that put on there. And then the bumper is not an insert. They made that bumper nice and bubbly for you. Onto the back of the car, we're exploring. I don't know why I like to shake things and push things to see if everything is fitting correctly, but that's part of my process that I'm looking here. Being a hatchback, you have the fifth door back here. Open that baby up. We are gonna explore the inside too, so make sure you stick around. They have a bar, probably for stability back here, which is nice, added in because track car. On the back, you can see the rear mounted camera, which is right under the emblem. When you shut that, it's got a nice big cutout there, reverse camera, and then you have the sensors in the back bumper as well. I'm looking for gaps or anything that looks different. The only thing that I noticed on this side, again, this has some miles on it, so I don't know if it came from the factory, but I look for gaps like this. And it has one. These B-pillars are the cheap plastic ones. They're not even the glossy black ones that would look a little bit better and match the rest of the vehicle. I don't know why they didn't use those, but you'll see this gap in there where that B-pillar is. And I did check the other side too. That gap is not there. So I don't know if that was something from the manufacturer or it has a few miles on it, just starting to separate a little bit. This is cool. I'm looking at the trim. So one thing that popped out to me is this right here. And I noticed that stuff as a detailer, those little tiny things, and I'm like, what is that? Did somebody cut it? What's going on there? But what it looks like, and I've never seen this before too, you have this trim, it's purposely put there. There's like almost a stopper. And obviously that seal is to keep water out of the car anytime, but why would they put a stop there? Is this just stop the water and it comes straight down there so it doesn't go all the way forward? Or does it have something to do with aerodynamics where it's stopping that air coming from here? Interesting. Anyways, you can see it. Stops right there.
I did try to look and see why this seal had that little part on there, and it's what we probably all expected. It's there for reducing any driving or wind noise, and then it deflects the water away from the door frame, so prevents any leaks or potential rust of that frame.
Onto the back, you have the GR and the Corolla badging. I'm not looking for anything different on this side. I mean, you can see some of the paint that I'm talking about. So you see the top of this piece here too. You can see the orange peel, the texture to it. And that's kind of what I see throughout this car. I mean, you can see this door really well. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there is so much orange peel here and in that door. It just looks like you can almost see the light in the door and you can see the divots in the orange peel, and it just doesn't have that pop. And as a detailer, I like super shiny things that pop, and this just paint just doesn't do it for me. That would really bother me. I'd want to sand this whole thing down and polish it out, or wrap it. I'd probably wrap it. All right. So you can see 3.32 mils of paint. And so this measures the primer, the base coat, and the clear coat right down to the steel panel. And I like to measure the paint because it gives me an idea of, one, if anything is repainted, and I don't expect anything to be repainted on a brand new car like this, but I want to kind of see where it lands because paint is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So normally a paint is anywhere from 3.5 mils all the way up to 5.5 mils on an OEM paint. And you can kind of see we are at 3 mils of paint. So that is on the thin side. And what that means is the different layers, you're not, the top coat, which is the clear layer, which takes a lot of the damage, is the part where us as detailers will polish and remove some of that to refresh it and make it look nice again. So a lot of the staining on the car or the bug etchings on there would need to be polished to be removed, anything, any scratches or anything like that. And with 3 mils of paint, that is not very much paint. So this is an aluminum hood. It tells us that it's aluminum. That's 3 mils. We'll measure some other parts on the car, but that is thin. Okay, so we have 4.4, 5. So you can see the different parts. And when this gets painted too, you know, different parts of the car can have different thicknesses depending on where and how they're painted. You know, most of the fender and the doors, they may be painted on the vehicle, right? The entire frame of the car, but maybe the hood is painted separately in a separate booth or separate bay. Okay, we're in the 4s. I'm feeling much better about the rest of the car. The high 3s, 4, quarter panel, low 4s. I can only measure aluminum or steel with this tool here, so this being plastic, I won't be able to measure the paint on that. Let's go to the back. It's plastic. So this back is either plastic or carbon. All right, I would say an overall average of 4 on the sides. The fenders, a little higher. And the 5s, close to 5, the high 4s. With the hood being in the low 3s. Look at that, right at 3 mils on there. Whew. The first thing that I'm gonna talk about is the roof liner, the inside headliner here. I don't know why, but it's one of the first things I noticed, and it's like that fuzzy material. It's a short nap type of material. It's not like the normal headliners where it's almost like a fabric. This is still a fabric, but it's a really odd headliner, and that's kind of why it stuck out to me. And maybe it's not odd, but I haven't seen a lot of these with these like fuzzy type of carpet headliners. Anyways, just something I observed. Coming over here, you have these really hard plastic pieces for the visors coming into the dash and everything. So I'm actually going to be wiping this down with Armor Detail Pilot. This is an interior detailer meant to wipe down dust and fingerprints off everything on the interior. And I'll test this product out. Spray a couple sprays on there. First thing I like to do is smell it. Not much of a smell, just a nice clean smell. I'm gonna clean my grubby fingerprints off the screen here that I've been touching the entire week. So inside, that gloss black trim is continued on the screen here, and then into the trim pieces, into the center console. Again, Toyota's very button heavy, so you can see a lot of buttons and things within here. You have heated seats on top, a phone charger that kind of tucks away inside of this center console up there, into the gear shifter where you have the drive mode shifter and the traction control, right down to where you have the track version, or you have the track controls where you can press that, and you have a normal, gravel, and then track mode into there, into a, oh, look at this. Here, it doesn't quite make the satisfying noise of a third brake. Parking brake, it does a little bit there. You have it. That could be a little more satisfying. 2 very small cup holders, so if you want to get that oversized Monster or Red Bull, probably not going to fit inside these tiny little cup holders, but you get the small version, they'll fit right in there. Also in back, you have, for your passengers, you have a USB-C charger, and then the adapter back there if you want to use them. All right, steering wheel, you have the paddle shift. This is a leather steering wheel. Most of the materials in here, so that's a kind of a softer plastic actually on this. Comes right up if you want to pull it out into the steering wheel. These are all kind of hard plastics. All the dash, well, this is a softer, so these two materials are a little, oh no, they're the same. They're kind of a spongy material. This is the leather. This is more of a spongy material. And then you come into here though, like this bottom piece, which is a hard plastic, the same as the steering wheel and this cover here for the horn. Into the steering wheel, stitched red leather, red stitching on the black leather, very, very nice. And then the controls here. It does feel very nice to drive. One of my favorite things about the car was the seats. You know, they're the aggressive bolsters here. They do hug you. It's a very stylish race car type of seat with suede in the middle and some accents with that red trim. You can see the red stitching throughout the vehicle, and that really, really sets it off for me. It's a really cool look to it. Very nice. Rear view mirror, nothing fancy about the rear view mirror. There's no backup camera or lights or buttons on the rear view mirror. It does what it's supposed to do. You look back and you see out of it. Up here, up on the top, you have the accent lighting. You have the options to turn off the lighting when the doors come in. A couple more options for the lights on the side, off and on. We got the doors open, so they're gonna stay. You got the SOS right there in case you're in trouble. And then the airbag controls or sensors up top here, which are very nice. Oh shit handle, might need those if you're riding in here and go on the track. All right, so again, I mean, we have an inexpensive car using, you know, not the highest end of materials here, but they still done a very good job with the materials, making it look a little bit luxury, a little bit sporty, and really keeping up with it. I mean, it's a little complicated, you know, if you want to get down to it, but it looks really good. I like it. The styling is really up to date. The suede or Alcantara seat here, soft, and then you have the perforations in there where you can kind of see the red show through too. So it's those little details that look really cool. This material, it tends to build up dirt and get a little bit hard, so you do want to keep that clean. The best thing that you can do for any surface is just clean it. The second best thing that you can do is use some sort of protectant. They have lots of different fabric protectants or protectants for this Alcantara suede, and that'll really help keep this clean, keep it fresh for many, many years. One of the things that I noticed is the stereo system. So these JBL speakers here, and you can see that they have gloss black trim. I felt like the song, I was wearing headphones almost, you know, not quite, but it felt like the music was right here where my ears are. And I thought that was real cool. It was the first thing that I noticed when I get the car with the radio on, is like, oh, that's a different sound. They did a really good job with that. It's not the top of the line quality sound system once you crank it up, but for just enjoyment driving around and listening to it, especially for talk radio, if you listen to that, I mean, I felt like the speaker was right in my ear, which was really cool. All right, let's get out of the car, look at some of the doors and the controls. Coming out to the seat, you can see everything is manual on the seat as far as adjustments. If you want to move it back and forth, there's no buttons. You're going to do it by pulling a lever and pulling it back with brute strength. So two sides here if you want to lay the seat back or push it up. That's the one that's going to raise the seat up a little bit or put it down. And then you got the back seat control if you want to push it up or down right there. Hard plastics kind of throughout the car. Again, probably not too concerned about it. If you're buying this vehicle, you're probably buying this vehicle for more of the fun aspect or taking it and enjoying it on the track or some spirited driving on the weekends or your morning drive going to work like I do or coming home. Door panel, again, I'm not necessarily looking for any problems or anything as far as this goes, as far as fitment or gaps. I mean, nothing really stands out as issues like something's gonna fall apart or you're gonna find some sort of rattle that'll be annoying just driving this car. Everything is there. It's all hard plastic. You have some leather and that red stitching that goes into the doors that looks really good. On the outside here, you have that gloss black trim piece inlaid with another graphite type of piece on the door handle there, and then the actual door handle too. Ooh, that's kind of soft. This is cool. It's almost like a soft rubber type feeling door handle there. Again, nothing special about the door or the lock, all plastic. It's a door handle. Going to the back. So I did have a few people with me in the back. So you're not gonna take a road trip with somebody in there, but I mean, you can fit back here. If you're larger than 6 foot, you probably won't fit back here. All right, my friends, that is the 2025 Toyota Corolla GR. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, anything you want to see in these types of videos, I'd love to hear it. So please share your thoughts down in the comment section. I try to answer as many comments as possible and read them as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you need any detailing products or products that we use in this video, go check the description as well. I have links for all that. But thank you. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.